Greetings, all! Today, we will be examining the relatively uncommon grass-type Pokemon Fomantis, the Sickle Grass Pokémon, and its rare evolution Lurantis, the Bloom Sickle Pokémon. While they might seem a bit small and too pretty to be a threat, the members of the Fomantis family are potentially vicious plants that can slice apart the opposition and leave them looking for a doctor as soon as they gaze upon their visage.
Fomantis have small bodies that have a striped light and dark pink base with a pink face and dark pink eyes. They have a green collar of plant material around their neck and a series of leaves and a bulb on the top of their head, and their arms exist in the form of two small sickle-like leaves that they use for both attacking and interacting with others. Their evolved form, Lurantis, have a more humanoid form to their bodies, with striped legs and what looks to be a pink vest of some sort covering their torso, leaving only their green neck and lower abdomen exposed. Their back has a series of 4 large pink petals on it with white tips, and the head has changed shape dramatically, with ear-like forms with dark pink tips, green antennae with head markings, and a pair of white-tipped tassel petals on the side of their head. Their front appendages have grown into a larger set of pink sickles with green tips and are sharp enough to cut through any soft thing that gets in their way. Although they very much resemble insects, both Fomantis and the evolved form Lurantis are in fact plants that have taken a long step beyond the point of mimicry in defending themselves in the wild. These creatures have developed the ability to rely on both photosynthesis and the meat of living organisms in order to obtain energy, but for the most part their predatory nature is subdued at a young age, and has only made a serious option for them when they are low in energy and need nutrition of some sort to stave off withering. As a result of their adaptation, these creatures possess large front leaves that act very much like limbs for them, possessing a razor-sharp sickle edge that enables them to cut through flimsy material and inflict lacerations on those that dare to get too close to them. This is duly reflected in the types of moves that they learn, as they learn almost no special attacks at all throughout their entire lifetime, save for the solar beam attack.
Even so, these creatures will generally rely on long-range attacks at a young age in order to deal damage against attackers, as their bodies are somewhat frail and not built for taking the brunt of much direct damage. Once they evolve though, their predatory natures are brought to the forefront, making them one of the few carnivorous plants that actually live in environments where living as a traditional plant would still get them the energy and nutrients they needed to survive, which is in turn a byproduct of them adapting to look like an insect to protect themselves from being attacked by herbivores.
Lurantis in particular release a strong, pleasant aroma from their bodies at all times and disguise themselves as massive flowers while they wait for a small prey item to come near them. Once a target is in reach, these plants will lash out with their sharp, sickle-like petals and use them to cleanly cut the prey into pieces while they are still alive, resulting in a quick but gory death. They will then feed on the carcass slowly, using their mouthparts to slice them up into tiny chunks that their primitive digestive system can then process before ultimately spitting out the hard parts that they cannot easily digest.
Oddly enough, during the attacking process, these creatures move as if they are dancing, and the elegant appearance they possess while in this motion has led many to state that they are the most glamorous of all grass-type Pokemon, though that claim is up to debate. Regardless, these plants can make good use of their biology and sunlight to help keep themselves safe through the possession of the Leaf Guard ability as their only base ability, while those that are instead able to show a different side to themselves and be more carefree than vicious can potentially possess Contrary as a hidden ability.
As far as their stats are concerned, these plants are not the best at lasting long in battle or moving very fast, and their special offenses are not that great, so their base HP, special attack, and speed stats are below average for fully evolved grass-type Pokemon. However, their physical forms are surprisingly resilient and they can strike hard with their potent sickles, so their base attack, defense, and special defense stats are above average for fully evolved Pokemon of their type, making them a potential menace in close quarters that can more than put their beauty aside to tear apart others as they wish. Because Fomantis are still plants, as mentioned above, most of their energy comes from photosynthesis. To preserve as much power as they possibly can, these creatures are primarily nocturnal and will spend much of the day sleeping in a safe spot where they have access to sunlight, staying perfectly still and spreading their 4 leaves out fully in order to suck up as much sunlight as possible.
Aside from being necessary for them to survive, stored solar energy will end up being the catalyst for the brilliant coloration these creatures will obtain after evolving, with brighter colors arising from increased sunlight exposure, so it is imperative that they store as much as possible before the point of evolution. This is also why even if they do gain access to the solar beam attack, they are very reluctant to use it, as it will waste a large amount of the stored solar energy in the process.
Once night begins to fall, these creatures become more active and will usually spend their time awake looking for a new spot to rest in once the sun rises again. The reason for this is that Fomantis are smart enough to understand that planting themselves in the ground in the same spot more than once could give their predators a hint towards the fact that they are not just simple plants, and given their limited defenses, that would spell doom for them in most cases. Unfortunately, they give off a sweet smell from the tops of their head as they photosynthesize, and this is a habit of often attracting cutie fly and other insectoids, mistaking the smell for that of a flower. This can make it easy for more intelligent predators to locate them and make a quick meal out of them in the daytime, so the life of these creatures is not always that easy. Thankfully, they won't have to wait an extremely long period of time before they can mature and evolve, but they must make sure they are ready for the process before night falls, as they cannot undergo evolution without a bit of extra power in the form of daytime sunlight to start the process. Lurantis stand out from other grass-type Pokemon in terms of appearance through their beautiful and vivid coloration. It is believed that the more energy that these creatures store up as Fomantis, and in turn the more properly they are raised, the more vivid their coloration will be, and the most elegant of specimens are so divine in their looks that many consider Lurantis to be the most beautiful of all grass-type Pokemon, though keeping them this way is not an easy task. The delicate petals of these creatures will wither and dull in color if they are not meticulously taken care of with both timely feedings and grooming.
Some collectors are so willing to engross themselves in the act of caring for their Lurantis that they treat it as a hobby and will often display the creatures proudly, though rarely ever fight with them, as this could damage their delicate leaves.
This also seems to affect how Lurantis interact with their owners, as well they are incredibly obedient and trusting towards those that take good care of them. Those that are lazier and care little about their appearances will be treated less so, and will make it hard for Lurantis to form a close bond with them. As a result, trainers will need to keep this in mind if they want to make the most of these creatures in battle, as well they might end up having their bodies damaged in the ensuing scuffles. Lurantis are generally able to regenerate any damage done to their bodies in a short amount of time, and can therefore prove to be much more resilient than their stats might otherwise suggest. They are further benefited in evolution by the moves they can learn, for not only do they gain access to the powerful Petal Blizzard attack immediately after evolving, as well as the Night Slash and Dual Chop attacks, these beasts also gain the ability to learn a very special move in this form that is completely unique to their natural moveset and reflects their use of physical attacks over special ones. In addition to gaining access to a Solar Beam attack, these creatures have learned how to channel the energy needed to use such an attack into their own bodies, forming a massive sickle of solar energy that can cut down any opponent that stands before them. This signature attack, the Solar Blade attack, still requires time to charge up like its special attack Contemporary, but it is actually slightly stronger and has the power to cut through rocks and even thick steel plates, more than making it a devastating physical weapon to use in battle. This also partially explains why Lurantis serves as the totem Pokemon of the lush jungle on Akala Island of the Alola region, dwelling in the forest and waiting to challenge trainers that can make a good meal for wild Pokemon and wish to pass the grass-type trial.
Though to many, they might just seem to be pretty faces in nature, the members of the Fomantis family are dangerous plants that can more than make themselves a nuisance to deal with without strong armor on one side. They can require a lot of maintenance and patience to make the most of, but those that are willing to invest in them for the long haul will likely not be disappointed with what these creatures can unleash against others in combat.
Just do yourself a favor and try not to approach these creatures in the wild. They might be a mesmerizing sight to behold, but get too close and you might find yourself ripped to shreds while admiring the beauty of their movements as they cut you to ribbons for invading their personal space.
Thank you all for watching this video. It is always a pleasure to help teach others about the world of Pokemon and the many facets of it that exist in both the world we call home and the world they call home. If you'd like, please leave a comment and subscribe and ring the bell to this channel to get regular updates on content and anything else that might be going on. You can find me and my written work on DeviantArt under the name Utitus, and be informed of information and content uploads on my Twitter page and my Patreon page. Donations are always welcome. Always remember, the world of Pokemon is a vast and varied place, and there's no telling what secrets might be hiding just around the corner. So keep watch, stay vigilant, and always prepare for the unexpected. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.